topic: digital influence, social media, and teen sexual behavior. Across Ghana today, many young people are silently battling with deep emotional wounds, the feeling of inadequacy, invisibility, and the fear of not being enough. Study shows that over thousands of senior high school students have already exposed their bodies online, with Cybersecurity Authority reporting that over thousands of senior high school students have already exposed their bodies online, with Cybersecurity Authority reporting that 2,331 students have encountered sexual content and 830 students have shared explicit materials themselves. This is not just indiscipline, it is a cry for attention, a cry for validation, a cry for belonging to a digital world that rewards boldness and sexual visibility over self-worth and character. Many Ghanaian teens admit that they feel pressure to look perfect, to have curved bodies, to have flawless skins, and to body the influences they follow. This pressure has contributed to a disturbing rise in cosmetic procedures, where young people believe that physical enhancement is the road to being admired or valued. Many Ghanaian teachers, girls and boys, have increasingly been posting new pictures online and even recording themselves while bathing in their school restrooms, like what happened at Monterey SHS in 2024. These girls to feel seen, admired, or accepted, but in the process, they expose themselves to humiliation, cyberbullying, and emotional love scars. This is not just a school call, it is a nationwide wake-up call, demanding attention, protection, guidance, and honest conversations with our youth. Therefore, there is a pressing necessity for us to put measures in place to keep our youth safe on the digital world. 1. There should be comprehensive digital literacy education for all. 2. Our guardians and leaders should help promote sexual and reproductive health of our teenagers. 3. Social organizations like the NCC should organize workshops to empower our parents with digital training. 4. Mental education should be promoted in our schools. 5. The government should introduce school-based social media policies. 6. Amendment of laws against online sexual exploitation. 7. Influencers should put positive content on the media and serve as good role models to our teenagers. 8. The government and the media authority should set strict rules control. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Awaso STEM SHS. Thank you. Let's have Diabini SHS. Please, let's give him a round of applause.
Imagine we wouldn't let a teenager drive a vehicle on the road without proper training, a license, or even a seat belt. But here is the case: when it comes to their sexual and reproductive health, we often hand them the keys and then throw them on the road just to find their own course of action. When they fail, we end up blaming them. My name is Masood Abbas, a proud student of Diabini Senior High Technical School, here to educate and speak on the topic of much importance: the future of sexual and reproductive health. What today's teens need for tomorrow. Why? You might be asking, why do we need to think of this topic as of crucial importance? Well, when you look at it, the old system is failing. A system of silence and segregation. A system where we treat adolescent sexual and reproductive health as a myth, a taboo, or something to be whispered about. Where adolescents feel pressured and feel the need not to open up to their parents or their guardians on sexual and reproductive health issues. 1. Why do we need to look at this? 1. Empowering the future adult. When we empower the adolescent, we make them future adults. Building a lifeline where they also have the ability to teach their children, younger ones, about sexual and reproductive health. 2. Preventing negative outcomes. Preventing negative outcomes like teenage pregnancy, contraceptives, teaching them the proper ways to use certain contraceptives. 3. Adapt to the changing world. The world is changing. We are living in an age of technology. When we make it accessible for everyone, an individual who has access to telephones and mobile phones will be easier. 1. So when we look at all this, we need proof, we need pillars, we need solutions that will help our future duration, the tomorrow's workforce, to achieve a better future. 1. Comprehensive sexuality education. You cannot talk about sexual reproductive health without comprehensive sexual education. A comprehensive sexual education that is mandatory, inclusive, and technologically literate. 2. We need to merge SRH services with mental health support. You cannot treat health without asking of the stress, without asking of how the person feels mentally. 3. Most importantly, we must respect their evolving capacity to make decisions. Mandatory policies about parental consent should, do not foster communication, but drive young people away from confidential topics and towards dangerous risks. When you look at this, now we know what can be done. So what are some of the policy recommendations we can to spring these policies into action? 1. Mandate universal comprehensive sexuality education into the curriculum. The curriculum must be revised to teach age-appropriate, non-judgmental, comprehensive sexuality education from our basic schools to continuing schools. 2. Invest in educator and provider training. Government must invest in...
Thank you very much, Diapini SHS. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Our speakers deserve a lot of support. May we welcome Keta SHTS to the podium. Come on, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Uncle, please don't sell me to that strange man. Please. Calm down, Sheila. I'm not selling you. This is for your own good. This is what happened to me. A 15-year-old girl, 3 years after my father's death. I was sent to a big house where I met girls my age. Some even younger. We were used as sex machines in exchange for money. Some died in the process until the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes came to our rescue. This story continues. Panel of judges, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, imagine a child driven underground to mine instead of being in school, going against the Article 25 Clause 1A. Not to even talk of a 13-year-old Enyonam, gang raped by 8 men and yet had to pay for a police report. Just imagine. Thousands of such cases have been detected recently in Ghana. Yet, what do we say? Esinam, it is this man that has been catering for this family since time immemorial. Don't do this to disgrace the family. All of this, putting mental depression on the victim. Today, I'm here to speak on the topic, preventing exploitation, protecting adolescents from predators. Taking advantage of one's vulnerability for another's personal gain is the work of the predator, and this is how adolescents get exploited. Predators can be our families, friends, neighbors, and surprisingly, religious leaders who tend to be caring, taking these adolescents out and showing them kindness. Most of these adolescents are prone to these predators due to curiosity, naivety, marital conflicts between parents, and just to name a few. Wait, Ghana has made progress saving some adolescents from exploitation, but has that eradicated exploitation permanently? I hereby propose these policies. 1. The government should introduce a national certification to great towns and districts on adolescent protection. 2. The Ministry of Justice should ensure free access to legal aid and healthcare to achieve SDG 1, 3, and 16. 3. Predator access should be handed to victims by the Minister of Finance through the government. As Abna Anubia once said, irrespective of where one comes from, victims are victims and must be given the best support possible. 4. Telecom companies should install anti-nudity system SIMs to prevent sending explicit materials. 5. The NACA and Media Commission should include role-play scripts in teaching adolescents how to identify manipulation. 6. The 2020 National Labor Migration Policy should be implemented by the government to end the ban of labor migration to sex trafficked areas. 7. There should be a mandatory psychological treatment and Ghana Police Service monitoring for released offenders. 8. The Judiciary Ministry of Interior should introduce juvenile justice outposts in schools for anonymous reports on such cases. 9. The Ghana Statistical Service should analyze and display the rate of adolescent exploitation to rouse public awareness. 10. Every faith organization should file annual adolescent protection compliance reports. #say something, say something. 11. The judiciary should make sure there is no out-of-court settlement on such cases. 12. The government should empower the creative arts to sing songs like Daddy by African Queen, which goes, every day I don't know why my daddy has to be the one to take away my innocence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Keta SHS. Let's welcome the speaker from Queen of Peace SHS. The audience is very biased in their applause. That's not fair. Thank you very much, Queen of Peace.
Hello, hello, try 2, 2. Try 2.
Hello. Distinguished but a discernment voice to speak, keeping adolescents safe in a hypersexualized world. Yes, we are now in a world where a child is exposed to sexual content before he or she understands consent, where TikTok teaches faster than parents, where music videos praise bodies than values, and curiosity walks in the dark. And today, even our leaders are alarmed. The Minister of Education recently told Parliament that some students are using government tablets to watch pornography. If our leaders are worried, then the threat is real and the danger is here. Yes, we no longer search for sexual content, it searches for us. A 2024-2025 cybersecurity authority and UNICEF report found 45,409 child sexual abuse in our cyberspace. These numbers are loud, but sadly, the silence in our homes and communities is loud. Every day, adolescents are navigating pressure, pleasure, peers, and social media. Yet, we receive little or no guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, as our world has become hypersexual, our protection must become hyper-intentional. And so, I propose the following recommendations. 1. The Ministry of Education should introduce value-based sexuality education. 2. GES should train teachers on sex, consent, and digital education. 3. Parents should speak openly to their children about pressure and boundaries. 4. The NCA should regulate explicit media content. 5. Ghana Health Service should expand adolescent-friendly reproductive health centers. 6. Faith-based leaders should counsel with compassion and not fear. 7. Traditional leaders should strengthen cultural values that prevent early sexual activities. 8. The police service should intensify monitoring of online grooming exploitations. 9. Media houses should cut sexual content during adolescent viewing hours. 10. Civil society should teach digital literacy to guide safer decisions making. 11. Local assemblies should create youth platforms for mentorship and study. 12. Parliament should enact a stronger online law for child protection. 13. Government and parents should customize tablets and other youth devices for learning only. 14. Government should provide funding for reproductive health programs. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, our adolescents are living in a hypersexualized world. A world louder than our warnings and stronger than our advices. But I am confident, deeply confident that if we act on these policies, our adolescents will not be victims, they will be victors. They will work with wisdom and rise with dignity. And now, for the sake of Ghana's future and every child, let us all rise to protect the adolescent child. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Queen of Peace, SHS. That brings us to the end of round 1. Please, let's give our speakers another round of applause. We'll take a few moments to put the scores together and announce. MC.
Thank you very much. Let's do it again better for our contestants. I was personally enjoying it when they were putting their thoughts together and delivering very, very well. I picked some few things. And as I stated from the beginning, we are studying, we are learning for the better. And each of them, as they spoke, I picked some very, very important things I would like us to also look at. I heard something like digital influence on sexual reproductive health. And the speaker was spot on. We should discuss this. I think about 2 weeks ago, we saw a video online where a man was molesting his wife. And most of you saw it. What broke many hearts was that the woman was virtually naked in the video, but people were still sharing it. So in as much as we can use the internet, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the likes, to prevent the abuse of people sexually, we should be very careful in sharing those videos because the woman is still alive. And as we all know, internet never forgets, and the first speaker highlighted well, and I think I love that. The last speaker also made a point, which was connecting with the first speaker, that now teenagers don't solicit for sexual content anymore. You just go to Facebook and it's like the sexual content, they are chasing you. You wouldn't even click on it, they start playing. So I think that the regulatory bodies should also do a lot for these young people, because as we all know, social media is now part of us. Somebody cannot go a day without Facebook, without Instagram, without TikTok, YouTube. They are all part of us. So what is the regulatory body doing about it, where sexual content is chasing us? I think a speaker also raised the point about what the Minister of Education stated. We all know that the first year students, those in second year now, were given tablets. And the minister made a shocking statement in Parliament that those young boys and girls in the senior high schools, they are using the tablets not to go to the microsite and go and download books and other things, but they are watching a lot of explicit videos, pornography. How are we going to prevent that? And when the minister made that particular point, I felt sad, and I stated that the system has failed these children. When they were launching the one student, one tablet, I was there at the conference center. The then minister made a point that they are going to restrict the sites. The students do not have access to those explicit sites. So when the current minister made that statement, I said that in as much as we can blame the student for doing so, the bigger blame should go to the big men. Because if they have failed in restricting the sites, they cannot come back and blame the student entirely. But we must also advise the students to also use the tablets wisely. Let's give it up for the contestants once again. They have done very well. I'll go back to our judges to give us the final verdict of the first round.
Hello. Hello. At the end of round 1 of second contest, here is how the schools performed. Awaso STEM SHS had 84 points. 84 points. Diabini SHS had 60 points. 60. Keta SHTS had 79 points. 79. And Queen of Peace SHS had 77 points. 77 points. We move to round 2 of the competition. This is the panel discussion. So before then, is there going to be any substitution? Substitution. Let's do so now. All right, over to
Hello. Good afternoon. We are moving to round 2 of contest 2. Happy to see everybody. And as you all know, you are going to be given a topic. You have 3 minutes to think about it. After the 3 minutes, you have 1 minute to answer your question. After that, there will be 2 follow-up questions. And in each of those, you have 1 minute to answer your question. Please note that once the question starts, we start answering the questions. Please stop writing once questions start getting answered so that we are fair to everyone. Okay, so sexual reproductive health. Most of the time is because if a girl gets pregnant, we'll see her big stomach. So that's why there's a lot of focus on the girl, because we can see it. So we are going to look around the issues of girls education. And I want to ask you this afternoon, my contestants, girls education as a tool for reducing teenage pregnancy. We are going to discuss this. Girls education as a tool for reducing teenage pregnancy. Your time starts now. You have 3 minutes. Girls' education as a tool for reducing teenage pregnancy. Thank you very much. We can stop writing now. So who will go first? Our system, go ahead.
Education is crucial for reducing teenage pregnancy. Pregnant is not only posed on the individual as a girl, but it imposes some effects on the nation, because teenage pregnancy is a socioeconomic problem that is hindering our nation's development. Therefore, there is a need for us to promote girls' education. So one, there should be comprehensive sex education in our schools, our faith-based organization, and our homes. Also, there should be our leaders should make good use of the media to create hashtags to teach our young girls the need to abstain themselves for sex. And also, the government should make free and accessible education. They should also empower our girls with vocational skills for them to focus on their ambitions. And also, girls should learn to value themselves over virtual attention. And lastly, parents should learn to listen to their words without fear of judgment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll go to Benny.
Well, girl-child education. As you all know, girl-child are the most vulnerable in the society. So if you focus on the girl-child education, I think we are a step closer to achieving a better future. One, if we promote proper training on the effect of teenage pregnancy, letting the girl child know what the negative effect it has on him and the family when she gets into teenage pregnancy. Two, proper training on the use of contraceptives. If the girl child is made to know the proper use of contraceptive and then being taught on abstinence, it can promote reducing teenage pregnancy. Focusing on comprehensive sexual education in our basic education. It must be duly implemented. So the curriculum must be revised so that comprehensive sexuality education can be revised in our schools, making sure it is mandatory, age appropriate and non-judgmental. Promoting youth-friendly school-based workshop on the topic so that the school should contact non-governmental agencies to come to the school to talk on the topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will move to Keta SHS. Much, dear Benny. We'll take our last submission from Queens of Peace.
In addition to what they said, girls' education is a tool for reducing teenage pregnancy because education is essential in every aspect of our life. Therefore, to reduce teenage pregnancy through education, I propose the following recommendations. 1. Government should provide funding for education programs. 2. Public education in all schools for girls. 3. Faith-based leaders should counsel girls with compassion and not fear. Also, traditional leaders should strengthen cultural values that prevent sexual activities. 5. The media houses should be included to help inform girls about sexual health education. Also, the GES should include the girl-child education into school curriculum. Distinguished judges, I believe that if we put on these measures, our adolescent girls will be free from teenage pregnancy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Queens of Peace, for your submission. And following up on that, I would like my contestants here to tell me, how does keeping, please pay attention, how does keeping girls in school help to reduce teenage pregnancy? How does keeping girls in school help to reduce teenage pregnancy? Okay, Diabene, please pass the mic down. And as soon as he starts, please stop writing. Yes, go ahead, Diabene.
As I said earlier, the girl child is vulnerable.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, our system, please try and see the mic will.
Hello.
Go there.
So when the girl child is kept in school, it helps us to know our rights, our sexual rights, things that and our sexual rights, and secondly, where we can run to when we are being harassed. And also it helps us to focus on our ambitions, to value ourselves for the future life. And also I recommend that to the government, to the Minister of Education, we should focus on making free, accessible education to our young girls who are at most remote areas in this country, because these girls are facing a lot. We should make free, accessible education to all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please pass the mic down. So let's go over to Keta, SHS.
Thank you very much. Keeping girls in school empowers them a lot. This gives them the right information on their bodies and enables them to make informed decisions for their future. A girl at home is more prone to abuse than a girl in school. So I recommend that the GES should ensure that all girls in every community, all rural areas, have access to free and quality education. The Commission on Human Rights Administrative Justice should engage in community outreach programs to educate girls on their sexual and reproductive health rights to prevent them from facing any form of abuse. And 3, the Ministry of Health should engage students in regular counseling activities to empower them in terms of their mental health to also face all challenges on sexual and reproductive health. Thank you.
Keeping girls in school will aid correct monitoring, provision of counseling for them, right information. It will also help us to strengthen our cultural values and to educate the adolescents on their sexual rights. And so, to make this a success, I propose the following recommendations. As she said earlier, governments or the GES should provide education to all girls in remote areas. Also, once education is provided, they should include girl child education in the school curricula to enlighten them more in school. In addition, faith-based and traditional leaders should be invited regularly to schools to provide appropriate information for them. Also, the government should provide funding for these kind of programs so that it will help them to grow better. And I believe strongly that if we act on these policies, our adolescents will not be victims, they will be victors.
Queen, please, for mission and for the follow-up to know if you were to undertake of girls' education to reduce teenage pregnancy, what would you say? If you were to undertake a social media campaign on the importance of girls' education to reduce teenage pregnancy, what would you say? Who is ready? Keta, what would you say? Please give her the mic. Please stop writing.
Thank you. In this digital world of ours, our adolescents value content creators a lot. They follow on the advice they give in their various videos. So if I had the opportunity to engage on a social media campaign, I would advocate for the creation of hashtag Stopping Teenage Pregnancy Today, Empowering Our Nation Tomorrow. I would appeal to my fellow content creators to stop the posting of all explicit materials which adolescents can get access to, which rouses their sexual excitement. 3, I would also encourage, I will create educative content rather than provocative content. 4, I will create online ads which should be used in giving short education to adolescents. And 5, I will collaborate with other celebrities and mentors to educate adolescents and engage in interactive conversations using the social media handles like TikTok, WhatsApp, and others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move to Diabene.
Hello. As you all know, that our content creators are some of our role models. So involving them in this campaign will be crucial. Creating useful hashtag and hashtag that will be accessible to the girl child. And then watching the content that is available to the girl child. Because we have something called algorithm. So what the girl child gets introduced to is what the social media platform push onto them. So we must watch what we search for. So I will educate them on what we search for so that the algorithm will not push provocative and explicit content on them on social media handles like TikTok and Instagram. And then also, I will work tirelessly with the government to make it global, or maybe TV stations and those ones, to publicly educate the girl child on their rights and then sexual and reproductive rights, so that we can educate the girl child on preventive measures and how they are supposed to take care of their body to prevent teenage pregnancy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diabene. Our soul STEM.
Remind all areas instability. They are depending on men for their financial resources. I want to encourage you that there are so many supports in Ghana. There are so many people who are willing to help us. You just have to learn, focus on your ambition, and the help will come itself. And I will recommend that there should be free, accessible education for our youth. I'm a beneficial, and today I'm on this stage. That's the same way if another girl gets a chance, she will also influence her colleague. There should be comprehensive sex education. The media should be a tool in creating advocacy against early pregnancy and sexual harassment. Also, our parents should be the friends of their wards, and also not give judgments on whatever their wards tell them. They should listen and educate them on whatever they bring on board.
Ghana is a fast developing country in technology. So if I'm giving social media to help adolescent girls, I'm going to educate them to feel valued and comfortable among their peers and others. Also, I'm going to also appeal to the government to always at least provide funding for girls in vulnerable areas to help them cater for their needs instead of depending on boys, as my sister also said. Also, I'm going to visit areas like the remote areas, talk to traditional leaders, to call girls regularly for meetings to educate them on their cultural values and the need to abstain from sex. Also, I'm going to involve media houses, so regular campaigns or regular dialogue between adolescent girls and the media. The media is going to find proper information for girls instead of them depending on their peers for information. Also, I'll tell the GES that they should use the media as a tool to speak to adolescent girls? Thank you.
Thank you very much, all my contestants. That brings this round to a close. We will hand over to the MC while we collate the scores for this. Thank you and well done, everybody.
Let's give it up for our contestants. We can do it better for them. They have done wonderfully well, listening to various questions and providing answers for same. It's not easy. They've done very, very well. As we await the judges to put their marks together, we will continue to get interactive. Our contestants have provided answers to some very vital questions about sexual reproductive health. And I think we can also add on to knowledge. I picked this question from the facilitator. How does keeping girls in school help to reduce teenage pregnancy? How does keeping girls in school help to reduce teenage pregnancy? It is a menace we are all trying to help curb. And we are seeing the school environment as a safe place for the students. So how can that help us curb teenage pregnancy? Who can help us? Okay, I can see a hand up. How does keeping girls in school help us to curb teenage pregnancy?
Thank you very much for the question. Keeping girls in schools prevents them from teenage pregnancy. This is done. We can testify that about 80% of girls who are in schools, especially SHS, where most adolescents are found, are not into teenage pregnancy and early marriages. This is because they have been educated on their rights. They know where to report to when faced with sexual harassment. So these children, they are given the necessary education and they know what they want. They know what their future holds for them. They know what they want in the future. And so they work towards it and backside every kind of anything that will prevent them.
Yes, I understand you. So that is an environment that is much more protected compared to the outside world. We know that students in school are well educated about their sexual rights and other very important education on their sexual reproductive health. Yes, my brother.
So girls in schools can schools help them prevent teenage pregnancy. So in schools they have counseling sessions where they go to the counselor to talk to them about what is bothering them and maybe some harassment or forms of abuse they've been through. They can go to the counselor for the counselor to help them go through that. And please have a question. So my question is that why is it like everything is centered on the girl? What about the boys? Who is there for the boys?
Thank you very much. I was about asking. Thank you very much for asking that question. Yes, okay, we'll come to that. Our judges are ready. After that, we'll come to the boy child as well.
Right, so at the end of the second round, here are the scores for the respective schools. Awaso STEM SHS had 73 points. 73 points. Diabini SHS had 63 points. 63. Keta SHES had 75 points. 75. And Queen of Peace had 71 points. 71 points. Any substitution? Any substitution? Let's do so now. All right, so for round 3, here's your question. And as you know already, you take down a question, you have 10 minutes to go out with your teams and work on it and come back and present to us. All right? So, building a national vision. Building a national vision for adolescent health and safety. A collective responsibility. Building a national vision for adolescent health and safety. A collective responsibility. I'll take it for the last time. Building a national vision for adolescent health and safety, a collective responsibility. Discuss. Discuss. Oh, are you okay? Wow. All right.
So the facilitators team, you can meet your contestants and brainstorm. They will present after you are done. So the DJ, you can give us hello. So the final contest for the day, that is the third contest. We'll have Achimota School, Eduafua SHS, Bichim Presby SHS, and Infantman Girls SHS. The final contest will be among these schools. So reps from these schools, you can come up here for the balloting. Third contest, kindly come up here for the balloting. So, Boyman SHS, Infantman Girls SHS, Bichim Presby SHS, Eduafua SHS, and Achimota School. That will be the final contest for the day. Kindly move up here for the balloting.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water.
Tomorrow, we'll also be having 3 contests. Tomorrow, Monday, 8th December 2025. The first contest will be among Accra Academy, Jache Pramso SHS, Kalio SHTS, Impriso SHS, and Sewakese Girls SHS. That is the first contest. The second contest, tomorrow, Awudomi SHS, Kumasi Anglican SHS, Odan SHS, Our Lady of Mount Carmel Girls SHS, and Swedro SHS. Then the final contest for tomorrow will be among Osei Tutu SHS, Presbyterian Boys SHS Legon, Salaga SHS, and St. Peter's SHS.
Tops. Hey, Carl, maybe just like double check it one more time. I don't want it failing right now.
Why don't you take a few shots first? Get past 3 and I'll take it. You're not gonna embarrass me. What? No scope? Want you to get 50 meters?
So very, very soon, the judges will be announcing the score for the second contest. Let's do it better once again for the contestant. Let's do it better once again for them. They have so the winner of this contest will book a place to the finals, which will be held on Wednesday at the House of Parliament. Our judges, they are cross-checking the results to avoid any mistake. So when the final score is announced, the winner will book a place in the finals of the National Public Speaking Competition 2025. Okay.
Hello. All right, so at the end of the round 3, here are the scores of the respective schools. Awaso STEM SHS had 74 points. 74 points. Please, let's give them a round. Diabini SHS had 66 points. 66. Keta SHTS had 64 points. 64. And Queen of Peace SHS had 59 points. 59. At the end of the second contest, here are the scores, the cumulative scores for the respective schools. The school in the 4th position had a total score of 189 points. 189. And that is Diabini SHS. Diabini SHS had 189 points to take the 4th position. The school in the third position had 207 points. 207 points. And that is Queen of Peace. Queen of Peace is the third in the contest. The school in the second position had 218 points. 218. And the school in the first position had 231 points. 231 points. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that the school that is moving to the finals on Wednesday in this competition from this second contest is Awaso STEM SHS. Awaso STEM SHS. Congratulations, Awaso. Congratulations, Awaso, for placing first in the contest and for making it to the finals. Congratulations to the other schools as well, Keta, Diabin, and Queen of Peace, for fighting so hard to this stage and for scoring such high marks. Unfortunately, only one must go to the finals. We congratulate all of you and keep speaking up to influence. Please, let's give all of them a round of applause. You may now come back to the audience so we can get ready for the third contest. Thank you very much.
Let's 1, 2. We can still do it better for them. We can still do it better for them. Congratulations to Awaso STEM School. Oh. We will quickly zoom into the final contest for the day. Third contests.
So yeah, sorry, let me just make this comment. The question for the last round was about building a national vision for adolescent health and safety, a collective responsibility. I don't know about the others, but it looks like most of the speakers didn't really address the question. They did not. I mean, we are saying a collective responsibility, so at least identify the stakeholders whose responsibility it is to actually develop a national vision. Sorry? Yeah, so I mean, the speakers did not do well in not addressing the question as it's supposed to do. A lot of you focus more on the policy recommendations. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll now call on the contestants of the final contest to come and take their seats. Fantsman Girls SHS, Bueman SHS, Achimota School, Ajofua SHS, and Bechim Presby Senior High. This will be the final contest for today. The winner of this contest will qualify for the finals to be held on Wednesday at the House of Parliament. So our contestants are ready. They are ready. So hand over to the judges. So the contestants, you can now move to the stage. Let's do it better for our contestants. We can still do it better for our contestants as they take their seats. Bechim Presby SHS, can I see a wave from your contestants? Thank you very much. Ajofua SHS, Achimota School, Bueman SHS, Fantsman Girls SHS. You're all welcome. I will hand over the microphone to our judges so that we continue with the contest. So you will introduce yourselves to the audience. Before you start, we have an Indomie stands down there. So you can visit them. They will serve you better. Contestants.
My name is Doraya Supanfantimango.
Nakia Dramani Sam is my name. Infantiman Girls.
I go by the name Patrick Senior High School.
I respond to the name Gamele Mary, representing the Great Bremen Senior High School.
My name is Mary Sasari from Ajofa Community Senior High School.
My name is Saduma Beidu Rashida from Presbyterian Senior High School, Bechem.
My name is Tisu Perfect from Presbyterian Senior High School, Bechem.
Thank you very much, our contestants. The judges will now take over.
All right, thank you all very much for coming onto this stage of the competition. This is the final contest for the day. One of you will be emerging as the winner to the finals on Wednesday. Now, since you've already participated in the regionals, I'm sure that you are familiar with the rules. We are going to, there are 3 rounds of the competition. Round 1, you have your topics already that you'll be speaking on. When you mount the podium, you have 3 minutes to speak. Round 2 is a panel discussion. The moderator will give you the question. You have 3 minutes to think about the question and formulate your thoughts. When you're ready, you have 1 minute speaking time for each round. For each segment of that round, you'll be speaking 3 times. So there's the main question, follow-up, and a second follow-up. You speak for only a minute. Okay? And then round 3 will give you a question. You have 10 minutes and work as a team. Come back and present on your question. This is for the round 3. So having said that, we would like the main speakers to stay on stage. Right, okay, so in terms of scoring, we're going to assess you on 5 elements. The content you deliver, that will attract 30 points. The policy recommendations you make, that will attract 25 points. Public speaking skills, 25 points. Your communication or language skills, grammar, 10 points, and creativity, 10 points. Okay? So we are judging all of that for each round that you mount the podium to speak. Are we clear? All right, so let's have them on stage. The supporting speakers, please come down so we can start the competition. Right, so without much ado, we would like to invite Achimota, my apologies, Mfantiman Girls SHS to speak first, your keynote speech. Please, let's give a round of applause.
Hello. Every morning, adolescents across Ghana walk into schools carrying more than just textbooks. Behind the smiles, many carry deep questions they dare not ask about, changes they cannot comprehend, and experiences they cannot speak about. Some girls are afraid to stain their uniforms with their appearance. Some boys are pressured by misinformation whispered by their peers. Others also walk in as survivors of silence, unsure whom to trust, unsure what to say. This is why safer schools should not just be educational matter. Ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative, human, and deeply personal. Therefore, schools should be a citadel of protection, not just instruction. While research across Africa shows that when schools provide accurate age-appropriate sexual and reproductive health education, adolescents delay risky behavior, avoid early pregnancy, and seek help confidently. Schools should save lives, preserve futures, and restore dignity. For today, I am here to speak for all the adolescents who deserve safety, knowledge, and dignity. And through these recommendations, I hope I can speak for the silent, the unsure, and the unheard. For today, I am a voice calling for comprehensive sexuality education in every school. I am a voice calling for counseling rooms in schools where students can say, "Madam, I need help," without shame. I am a voice praying that schools will have zero tolerance to stigmatization. I am a voice calling for that special partnership between GES and the Ghana Health Service to provide youth-friendly services. Fellow students, we are the voices calling for school clubs and communities to embark on peer-to-peer sensitization. We are the voices calling for anti-harassment policies where students can report without fear of intimidation. We are the voices of these regretful pregnant teenagers looking for a second chance to a brighter future without stigmatization and judgment. And the boys in the ghettos are calling. They are calling for rehabilitation centers in schools and a second chance to a brighter future without judgment and fear. Ladies and gentlemen, the school administrators are appealing to NGOs and corporate bodies for infrastructural support. I am a voice calling on parents to see us as precious jewels to invest in. Ladies and gentlemen, let us listen to this voice, the voice calling for safer schools. Nakia Dramanisa, Infantiman Girls.
Thank you very much. Infantiman Girls, SHS. Let's welcome the speaker for Boeman SHS to the podium.
Hello. Distinguished judges, teachers, fellow students, imagine this. You are sitting in class, preparing for your WASSCE examinations, dreaming of becoming a doctor, a teacher, an engineer, or probably even the next president of Ghana. And suddenly, everything changes. Just one mistake, one moment of ignorance, and all your dreams come crashing down. For 107,023 teenage girls in Ghana in 2020 alone, this was not just an imagination, it was a reality. 30 girls every single day get their educational journey cut short because of pregnancy. Today, I stand before you to speak about a powerful tool that can change the story: sexual reproductive health education. I go by the name Patrick Simfibi Elom, and I am here to let you know that knowledge is not just power, it is protection, it is opportunity. Some may argue that sexual education may encourage experimentation, but research proves otherwise. Comprehensive SRH education does not make us more sexually active. It makes us smarter, more responsible, and better prepared to protect our future. I present before you 7 policy recommendations that Two, establish youth-friendly health services and school health clubs. 3, train teachers. Provide financial support or stipends to offset the cost of sanitary pads, and reduce economic motivation for early marriages or transactional relationships. 7. Collaboration between ministries of health and gender to ensure consistent, comprehensive approaches rather than fragmented policies. In conclusion, every girl who stays in school does not just change her own life, she changes the nation's destiny. Let's not wait for another 30 girls to drop out tomorrow. Let's make a comprehensive SRH education. Our future depends on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Women SHS, thank you. Let's welcome Achimota School to the podium for her speech.
Let me start with a confession. My phone knows things about me that even my parents do not know. It knows my late night searches, my insecurities, and my curious thoughts, especially about my body, health, and feelings. And I know most of you can testify to that. So today, let's talk about the world we live in, the opportunities we enjoy, the risk we face, and the raw action we need to stay safe. The digital world opens new opportunities to sexual reproductive health, giving teenagers access to credible information, private online doctor consultation, educational tools on consent and boundaries, as well as stigma-free communities promoting body positivity and self-confidence. Yet, every light only hides a darker side. This same space that empowers teens can also expose them to invisible dangers. Cyberbullying, unsolicited explicit photos, misinformation that confuses, unsafe trends, and exploitation that targets vulnerable teens. These dangers do not raw online. It types, it chats, it follows you, then it strikes. But we are not powerless. We can turn these threats into tools using these proposals, which I term the 10 E's. 1. Education. UNESCO and the local ministries of education should help schools teach teenagers how to navigate the digital world safely, so knowledge becomes an armor, not a trap. 2. Evaluation. Online platforms should filter and verify content, turning the web of minefield to a guided path. 3. Engagement. Verified counseling services should be made easily accessible to teenagers in order for them to ask sensitive questions. 4. Ensuring privacy. The Internet Governance Forum must set strict rules to govern private information. Social media platforms should add safer design features like panic buttons, stronger reporting systems, and screenshot protections, like there is in Snapchat. Now you know why we call Snapchat a snitch. 5. Empowerment. Teenagers should be empowered through national awareness campaigns and mentorship programs in order to turn their scrolling into safe conversations about sexual reproductive health. 6. Enforcement. Perpetrators of online abuse should be severely dealt with. Online platforms should be held accountable for misinformation and sexualized content. 7. Encouraging peer support. Peer-led moderated online communities must create safe spaces for teenagers to learn, share, and empower. 8. Enact law. Once again, the Internet Governance Forum must set rules to govern adolescents and the use of the Internet. 9. Examining threats. Misinformation and risky behaviors should be checked. UNICEF and the WHO can help monitor these patterns and develop protective strategies. And finally, ending abuse. Harassment and cyberbullying must meet zero tolerance. Organizations such as DOFSU should provide rapid response hotlines for victims of online abuse. Hear this, we didn't choose the digital age. We were born into it, but we can choose how to survive in it. If we scroll smarter, act safely, and speak louder than the pressure, the digital age becomes our stage, not our cage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Achimota School. Now let's welcome Ajoefua SHS to the podium.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Unquote. Confidence. When the families of today stay silent on matters that shape their bodies, choices, and future. Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. I am Mary Sassari from Community Senior High School, speaking on the theme, in quotes, the family's role in building sexual and reproductive health confidence, unquote. The child, let me begin with this question. If the home fails to guide the child, who then should be blamed for their mistakes? The family is the first teacher, the first counselor, and the first source of truth. If confidence in sexual and reproductive health must be built, then the foundation must be laid at home. The chair, How many of us in this auditorium had questions growing up that we were afraid to ask? You see? Silence. Silence breeds confusion, and confusion isn't turns into risk. Chair, permit me to share a real story. In my community at Jofua, there lived a brilliant girl named Equia. She was always first in class, but when puberty came, fear came too. Whenever she asked her mother about menstruation and friendship with boys, she was told, good girls don't ask such questions. Left alone, she turned to equally uninformed friends, but JHS too, Equia was pregnant. Not because she was wayward, but because her family chose silence over guidance. When I met her recently, she said with tears, maybe if someone had explained this to me, my life would be different. Ladies and gentlemen, no child should lose their future because their home refuses to speak. Families must create a safe spaces where questions are welcomed, myths are corrected, and children evidence. Chair, permit me to propose the following recommendation. 1. Set aside family weekly health time. 2. Inform fathers in SRH conversation. 3. Provide SRH books for younger children. 4. Encourage responsible older siblings to mentor. 5. Attend PTA meeting to stay informed. 6. Consult health workers when unsure. 7. Monitor students' online activity to stay. Monitor students' online activity. 8. Keep emergency menstrual kits at home and in school. 9. Celebrate healthy growth milestone. 10. Invite community nurses for home education. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, as Kofi Annan once said, and I quote, knowledge is power, I unquote. And in sexual and reproductive health, knowledge is not just power, but rather it is protection, dignity, and a pathway to a brighter tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, as I knew today, I speak for Equia, for every silent child, and for myself, maybe Sasari, believing that when families rise, children rise even higher. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ajwe, for SHS, Bechem Presbyterian SHS. Turn it around and speak, like introduce yourself.
My name is Aduma Bedi Rashida.
So hold it firmly like that.
Okay, sir. Her name was Wahima, a 15-year-old girl from Ahafu region, born with a physical disability and voiceless in a world that refused to listen. One evening, her mother found her trembling, bleeding, and whispering, and I quote, "Mommy, nobody ever taught me how to protect myself," unquote. Wahima had been abused by a man who preyed on her innocence, an innocence created not by her disability, but by society's refusal to teach her the basis of her own body. Sadly, she later became pregnant. She whispered through tears, and I quote, "If I had known what other girls know, this would not be my story," unquote. Wahima is not just one girl. She's an entire Ghana, a nation where adolescents with disabilities, blind, deaf, autistic, physically impaired, remain silent casualties of a sexual and reproductive health system that barely acknowledges them. Panel of educators, my name is Aduma Bedi Rashida, and I'm deeply honored to speak on the topic, and I quote, "Adolescents with disabilities overlooked in sexual and reproductive health conversations," unquote. This topic means young people with physical, sensory, or cognitive disabilities are systematically ignored when it comes to learning about, accessing, and receiving guidance on sexual and reproductive health. The World Health Organization 2023 estimates these adolescents are 3 times more likely to suffer sexual abuse due to communication barriers or stigma, unquote. Ghana Demographic and Health Survey 2022 states, and I quote, "Girls with disabilities are twice as likely to experience teenage pregnancy," unquote. This is not merely educational, it is humanitarian, it is not merely unfortunate, it is unacceptable. Policy recommendation: 1. The Ghana Education Service must integrate disability-tailored sexual and reproductive health models into all SHS and basic schools nationwide. 2. The government must establish special schools in all regions, and existing ones must be properly funded. 3. The National Council on Persons with Disabilities must train sexual and reproductive health nurses in basic sign languages. 4. The Department of Social Welfare must deploy experts to monitor and respond to abuse. 5. The Ministry of Finance must allocate annual budget for braille materials, audio guides, and mobility support. 6. The Ghana Education Service and NGOs must establish inclusive health clubs in all SHS nationwide. 7. Domestic violence and victim support teams must create create disability-sensitive reporting channels. 8. The National Teaching Council must include sexual and reproductive health pedagogy into teachers' licensure training. 9. The Ghana Health Service should conduct regular screening and counseling for adolescents with disabilities, especially in rural communities. 10. The Ministry of Information must launch multimedia campaigns combating stigma and promoting sexual and reproductive health rights. A nation is not judged by its wealth, but by how it protects its vulnerable. Let us act, not today, not tomorrow, but today. So every young voice, every young body, and every young life in Ghana can proudly say, I am safe, I am seen, I am valued. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of round 1 of the third contest at this stage of the competition. We'll take a few moments to put our scores together and move to the next stage of the competition. So, MC, over to you.
Thank you very much. Let's do it better for the contestants once again. I see that the contest will be keenly contested, because if you look at almost all the speakers, they did very, very well. Let's clap for them once again. And taking it from the last speaker, speaking about adolescents with disabilities. Do you think Ghana as a country, we have been able to take care of adolescents who are disabled? Do we really think about them when we are discussing issues of sexual reproductive health? Do we? So in your own minds, what do you think we can do as a country when we are making laws, we are formulating policies with reference to adolescents and their reproductive health? What can we do to also include the young people who are disabled? Is that a good question? Okay.
Thank you very much. I think the one thing that we can say is that folks of our various schools are not disability friendly, because you walk into schools and staircases are high, no pathways for people with disability. So it means that we should start from there. If that is the facility that we are having training for our young ones, it means that we should inculcate our way of doing things. Let's look at supermarkets all around. They are all the same. So it means that country itself has failed. Need to start from somewhere. That is why we are having some of these things, so that it will sound into the ears of our makers, so that when we are doing anything, we can include them and then make their life also better for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thing that has eluded this country, and for that matter Africa, leadership. Our only challenge, so that when it's treated, I think this continent would be a heaven. I would urge everybody here present, can we be leaders? Can we be leaders? Can we dream? Can we prove vision? Can we prove vision? A place of unconsciousness. We are in a country where we are rather unconscious. A lot of unconscious people around. Can we get conscious? Can we wake up? Please, let's be leaders. If we become leaders, all the pertinent issues around us, all the minor problems around us that we glide over, we would solve them. And it is this little problem that when they are solved, people would look at you and begin to feel or think of our petty problems. Let's handle our petty issues. Let's be leaders, and Ghana will be safe. Thank you so much.
Therefore, we can go now. Right, at the end of the first round of contest 3, here are the scores of the respective schools. Fantiman Girls SHS had 72 points. 72. Let's give them a round of applause. Boeman SHS had 73 points. 73. Achimota School had this is the panel discussion.
Move over a little bit, Boeman. Just move your. Yes. And then if we can please remove the podium, that would be very helpful. Fantiman, please move some more. Okay. Okay, great. Welcome to round 2 of contest 3. And you're all doing extremely well, as with all the other contestants. As you know, you have 3 minutes to think about the question I'm going to pose to you. You have 1 minute to answer the question. Remember that all the criteria of the lead judge applies in this situation. And when one person starts talking, please everybody should put their pens down and let's listen and respond appropriately. I wish you all the best. We are having fun. Let take a deep breath. If you are feeling overpressure, just take a deep breath, about 5 of them. It will calm you down. Okay? But we are having fun. It's fun, so don't be so, some people are too serious. Okay, so this afternoon we are going to look at, again, we are looking at adolescent health, sexual reproductive health, but we are looking at it from the faith point of view. So for this afternoon, I want to ask you, what is the importance of faith-based interventions for youth empowerment in general? What is the importance of faith-based interventions for youth empowerment, not youth pregnancy? I'll repeat the question again. What is the importance of faith-based interventions for youth empowerment? Because when we are empowered, our sexual reproductive health is also strengthened. They can start, right? You have 3 minutes. The importance of faith-based interventions for youth empowerment. Thank you very much. Your 3 minutes are up. Mfansiman, respond.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. As adolescents navigate one of the most transformative stages of life, empowering us with knowledge, guidance, and support becomes essential, not only for our personal safety and dignity, but also for building a healthy and more responsible society. It is for this reason that faith-based intervention is important for the empowerment of we the adolescents. This can be done through influencing the communities, moral authorities to partner with churches and mosques to deliver value-based, factual sexual reproductive health education to empower adolescent girls in their lives. Train religious leaders in adolescent counseling and mental health. Create safe dialogue space in religious institutions as well. Also, we have to promote sexual reproductive health awareness during pre-mental and family life seminars. Encourage faith leaders to speak openly against sexual reproductive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mfansiman girls. Please pass the mic down. We will take Boeman SHS.
Hello. So, as youth are, we, in one point of our life or the other, we need a lot of encouragement, guidance, and counseling from people all around us, but whether it comes to teachers or other people. And that's where faith intervention comes in. Faith-based intervention comes in. As youths, when faith is involved, because we know that religion teaches us a lot of things. The religious organizations that we have, whether it comes to the churches or the mosques, can encourage youth in several ways. One, they can teach them, they can organize programs for the youth that teaches them and encourage necessary guidance and counseling required for them to be empowered and know the consequences and to know certain things they don't get from other people or from outside. Two, they are taught to. Thank you.
Thank you, Boeman. Your time is up. Achimota.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the question. I believe faith-based interventions are one of the major ways we can empower our youth right now, because most teenagers or most of our youth are stuck with their various faiths, whether it's Christianity, Islam religion, or the traditionalists. They are all with their respective faiths right now. So what can they do? Faith-based interventions can, various religions, right? They can organize workshops and seminars for the youth to actually teach them about their weight and about their sexual reproductive health. Two, schools can bring role models, as in role models in their various faiths. So if it's a pastor who is a role model, they can bring the pastor in for the students to draw inspiration from him. And once they do that, they can actually see how far they can go in life. That's another way of empowering them. Schools and churches can also create workshops and seminars as well, educational programs to teach their various population or their congregation about their sexual reproductive health. Counseling sessions can also be. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Achimota School. We move on to Ajofua.
Faith-based intervention for youth empowerment helps promote self-esteem. It helps prevent teenage pregnancy. It helps reduces STIs, and it helps support academic performance. It also helps promote gender equality and helps the adolescent to understand their bodies.
You're done. Okay, thank you, Ajofua. Bichem Presby.
Our faith does not speak against our sexual and reproductive health, but rather promote it, depending on how we plan our mind, and also empower the youth. So the schools can invite religious leaders to come and speak to our youth and empower them. To media campaigns by religious leaders, being it our pastor, our reverend, or the imam. And religious leaders must be set as mentors to our youth to look up to them. And also, schools competitions such as debates and quizzes can sometimes be side on religious leaders or religious questions relating to the empowerment of our youth. And also, in our guidance and counseling unit or our safe connect, we must involve our pastors, that's our religious leaders. We need our pastors, the imams, and as well, we can also invite the traditional leaders, we need our chiefs, and then our queen mothers to come and then educate our youth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bichem Presek. We'll move on to the first follow-up question. So we are looking at the issues around faith. What real challenges do young people today face that faith-based programs can help address? What real challenges do young people today face that faith-based programs can help address? Is the question clear? What real challenges do young people today face that faith-based organizations or faith-based programs can help address? Achimota. Once Achimota starts, everybody will stop writing.
Thank you for the question. One of the main challenges that adolescents face that faith-based interventions can help with is number one, misinformation. Most of them at this age, they don't really have the correct information about their sexual reproductive health. So through their churches or through their various faith-based interventions, they can be educated about their sexual reproductive health. Misinformation is the main thing. There's also the fear of stigma. Right, whenever they go to places to ask for advice or to speak out about their various questions about their sexual reproductive health, they may face stigma, stigmatization. So the faith-based or their faiths, their churches, their mosque or their, wherever their various religions, right, they can offer them counseling services, and also they can bring down the stigma in those areas so that they'll feel free to voice out their worries. Early relationships. A lot of teenagers are involved in early relationships, but once they are actively involved in their religion, they will be distracted from those things. So their religions can come up with seminars, workshops. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Achimota. Ajofwa, what do you have to say?
Hello. Some of the challenges that the adolescents are facing that faith-based can help. One is lack of sex education. The faith-based should partner with the NCC for an effective public education, and one is early marriage. Most of the adolescents, they have been forced to get into early marriage and access to contraceptive.
Thank you very much, Ajofwa. Please pass the mic to Bichem Presek for her response. Is it gone off? There you go.
Hello, hello. One, two, try two.
Hello. So the challenges that adolescents face in our century is peer pressure. So with peer pressure, our faith, we being Christians, traditionalists or Muslims, our religious leaders can educate us on how to make good friends, and also the pressure from the media. Now we see most content creators and what we do, we have been influenced by that and then try to reach that level. So our pastors, our imams can also educate us on that. And also we face challenges like how to control better and how to abstain from sexually related activities. So, and faith issues. And both our parents, or sometimes the safe corners that are provided to us to consult them. But we must have faith in our pastors that as for them, they intervene between man and then God, between us and then God. We can go to them and then consult them whatever we are feeling. And also, some of the challenges we face is the pressure from the guys, especially with girls. See, when a guy approach a girl and then tell her that maybe he's interested in a girl, sometimes.
Thank you, Bichem Presby. Please pass the mic down. Women, SHS.
Hello. Okay, hello. Yes. So as youths, we tend to face a lot of problems, and one of them is lack of information and the appropriate guidance and counseling. So as our or public education programs to talk to the youth about sexual education or other topic. Counseling, as I said before, we lack counseling, so counseling service can be applied because a lot of us tend to respect our pastors a lot. So when our pastors have words with us, we tend to listen to them and abide to what they tell us. Then the creation of safe spaces where youth can approach probably a deacon or our imams or other traditional leaders about our problems so that we can get appropriate answers and not be misled. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Boyman, SHS. Mfansiman. Hello. Thank you very much. I got your for this last follow-up question, we have talked about how the faith-based organizations can do things people to empower them. But how can the faith-based, or in what ways can the faith leaders, let's look at the leaders, okay? In what ways can faith leaders work with schools to better support and empower young people? Not their own program. How can the faith leaders work with schools to better support and empower young people? Infantiman, please stop writing. Infantiman, go ahead. Try your mic, I believe.
Faith leaders also people or citizens in the community who want to also promote sexual reproductive health education in the society can make it a responsibility, or can put it upon themselves to visit schools once in a while to teach them, or organize programs in schools which teaches students their morals, also engage in conversations with them which will help them know how to approach cases, how to openly inform their teachers and they themselves on matters relating to sex. Churches should partner with schools to deliver value-based and factual sexual reproductive health educations in schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Berman, what do you have to say? Is it coming? No?
No. Hello.
Okay.
Okay. So I think our leaders, both churches, mosques, or traditional leaders, can provide financial support to the schools to reduce the economic motivation for early marriages and transactional relationships, as well as provide certain things that they feel the youth lack in the schools. Or better still, number two, they can organize symposiums in schools where they come and teach students about sexual reproductive health, and apart from taking precautions in our daily lives, to also remain spiritual. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Boeman. Achimota.
Thank you for the question. Religious leaders can visit schools once in a while to go and speak to the various students, to preach to them, and to motivate them so that they will stay away from these problems related to sexual reproductive health. Two, the religious leaders can also collaborate with the schools. So not just them, maybe a whole team of religious leaders can collaborate with the schools to take the kids out for evangelism or something, just to further increase the moral values of the students. Religious leaders as well can collaborate with the schools to provide free counseling to the students, just to teach them about their sexual reproductive health in a normal, free environment, where there is no stigmatization. The religious leaders as well can also collaborate with the schools as well to give the students actual advice, real-world situations, real advice on how they can handle, maybe their menstrual problems, or how to handle relationships or something. So religious leaders as well can also collaborate with schools to give the students a real-world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Achimota. Ajofua.
Hello. I think the faith-based must collaborate with the teachers to have an open conversation among the students about consequences of sexuality, and also they must organize seminars.
Thank you very much, Ajofua. We'll take the last submission from Bichem Presek.
So our faith leaders can move to educate Sunday service or during SLC is not allowed. Also, would be there.
Thank you so much, Bichem Presek, and that brings us to the end of this round. Thank you so much, contestants, for your submissions, and we will collate the response at this point and give it to the MC to continue. So, Ms. MC, over to you. Thank you.
Let's do it better for our contestants. They've done very well. We are waiting for our judges to put the results for round 2 together. Just after this, we'll have the final round for this contest. Then we'll have the winner of the contest. The winner for this contest will be competing in the finals come Wednesday at the House of Parliament. One thing stood out. The churches, the mosque, and if you believe in African traditional religion, I dare say the shrine, have they all failed in the desire for all of us certain issues relating to sexual reproductive health? This problem that is on our hands, have the faith-based organizations or the faith-based leaders, i.e. the pastors, the malams, the imams, the traditional leaders, have they failed in the fight? Who can help me with that? Have the churches, the mosque, the shrine, and other religious bodies, have they failed the youth when it comes to issues pertaining to sexual reproductive health? I come back to you once again. Have they failed? Because at least we know that the three dominant religions in Ghana, each of us, if not all of us, belong to churches. Either on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are there. The Muslims are also praying 5 times a day, going to the mosques on Fridays. Have the churches and the mosques failed in this regard? Yes.
Hello. All right, I think all of you will bear with me that if you are ignorant about something, you cannot talk about it. If you don't know anything about something, can you talk about it? You can't talk about it. They are not talking about it because they don't know. They are not saying it because they don't have any knowledge. So as this platform is created, signals should be sent to these religious faith institutions so that they will be able to talk about them. And if we look at the chunk of our youth, they are in these institutions. So if we are not doing anything to help them, then it means their future is bleak. So it means that this means that the churches must be taught so that they can teach. Thank you.
Thank you, facilitator. The question is as to whether the religious bodies, which include the Christianity, the religions, whether they have failed the youth in terms of empowering them, all right? I can say no, they have not failed the youth at all. That is even to the point that they are contributing their best. But let's say their best is not enough to yield resource, or their best is not enough to the expectation of how you and I want our adolescents to grow or the youth to achieve something. So we will encourage them to do more. If it is in the churches, they should preach more. They should talk about morality and then shine immorality. They should advise the youth not to be involved in certain things that is meant for the adults or seeing things. So that's why the youth supposed to take care of their eyes, take care of what they're supposed to see, and take care of their ears, what they're supposed to hear, take care of their mouth, what they're supposed to talk about. They should talk about it positively, not about things that would, out of curiosity, they want to talk about and go and practice. So they should emphasize that in the churches and in the mosques. And then our traditional leaders, they are doing their best. For them, if they have so many scenarios, they can tell you that if you do it, that is a taboo. Most of them, scientifically, they are not taboos, but they are just way to scare away the youth from involving in doing certain things. And our families too. Let's say the family is the first religious body. They have to do more. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. At the end of the second round of the competition, here are the scores. Infantiman Girls SHS had 64 points. 64 points. Women SHS had 62 points. Are you hungry? Achimota School had 66 points. 66. Adwoefua had 45 points. And Bechem Presby had 61 points. 61 points. Now, is there going to be any substitution? Substitution?
So we are gearing towards the final round of the second contest.
Right, so this brings us to the final round, round three of the third contest. And here is your question for this round. Teenage fathers. Teenage fathers. Semicolon. Teenage fathers. Semicolon. The forgotten stakeholders. The forgotten stakeholders in sexual and reproductive health of the adolescent child. Teenage fathers, the forgotten stakeholders in sexual and reproductive health of the adolescent child. Teenage fathers, the forgotten stakeholders in sexual and reproductive health of the adolescent child. Discuss. Should I take it again? Are we all okay? Bechem, did you get a question? All right. Fantiman, did you get it? Adwoefua, did you get a question? No? Okay, so I'll go over it again. Teenage fathers. Teenage fathers. Right? Semicolon. The forgotten stakeholders. The forgotten stakeholders in sexual and reproductive health rights of the adolescent child. Are you with me? Discuss. Did you get it now? Everyone, you got a question? All right, your 10 minutes starts now.
I feel like I've been on my own, walking these
Okay,
streets,
so
but they
Sunyani
don't feel like
SHS
home.
has
Trying
booked
to
their police
fight
years ago, Abna and Ebu, uninformed teens, do the unthinkable, and Abna gets pregnant. As usual, Abna drops out of school to have a child whose presence is unplanned. For Ebu, he is just scolded by his parents, but life continues. And as for him, he has nothing to do. And because of this, it happens as if nothing actually happened in his life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the many of a story in Ghana and in Africa. Teenage fathers are usually left off the hook for the girls to face the mountain of raising a newborn child. Our male-dominated society overlooks the teenage father's responsibility. It is all the girl. It must be faced by the girl all alone. But ladies and gentlemen, must this be the case? Many children roam our streets today because the father is absent from their lives. I recommend that 1. Government and NGO should provide skill training for young fathers. 2. Families should support teenage fathers and reduce stigma. 3. Media should promote positive role models of responsible young fathers. 4. Schools should allow teenage fathers to return after school interruption. 5. Counselors should include teenage fathers in mental health programs. 6. Healthcare workers should receive training to support adolescent fathers. 7. Communities should organize peer support groups for young fathers. 8. Educators should include fathers in sexual and reproductive health lessons. 9. Schools should teach young fathers about responsible fatherhood. 10. Legal aid organizations should provide free guidance for teenage fathers. 11. Government should enforce laws protecting adolescent fathers from discrimination. And 12. Faith leaders should encourage fathers' involvement in child bringing. Let's all remember, parenthood is like music from the piano. It takes white and black keys to make a melody. My name is Doraya Asopa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next to speak is Bueman SHS. Hold it like.
One, two, 1, 2.
Okay, try this
one. 1, 2.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Distinguished judges, in marriage, it is a pride when both partners have a baby, and that's so much joy. What makes this different is when a teenage girl gets pregnant, knowing that it took a boy or a man to impregnate her. Teenage fathers are normally left out of the discussion whenever a young girl gets pregnant. In addressing the role of teenage fathers who are forgotten in addressing the role of teenage fathers who are forgotten in the equation of the reproductive health of the adolescent child, teenage fathers normally lack frequent guidance, emotional support, and accurate sexual health information. In view of this, I present the following policy recommendations to assist teenage fathers. 1. Integrate boy comprehensive sexual education. 2. Create adolescent-friendly health services for boys. 3. Support systems to keep teenagers in school should be implemented. 4. Establish mentorship and psychosocial support programs by faith groups and other stakeholders. 5. Include teenage fathers in national SRH strategies and give them the opportunity to make input in order to encourage others. 6. Implement economic empowerment and livelihood programs to empower them. 7. Strengthen community engagement and male inclusive parenting campaign. In conclusion, we cannot deny the fact that adolescent males has an important
Let's show some hands to Achimota School as she mounts the podium for her final speech.
In conversations about sexual reproductive health, one voice is always missing: the teenage fathers. Silent, overlooked, and dismissed. This mostly leads to mental problems, psychological issues, and biological complications. But this era should be over. I suggest these policies to help teenage fathers: recognition of the rights of fathers, support groups and peer network, accurate information to educate fathers on their role in the society, supported continued education for teenage fathers who drop out of school, fatherhood counseling services, paternity leave for adolescent fathers, financial support for some of these adolescent fathers. The evidence is usually shown on the boys, on the girls, even though the boys are mean. Further inclusive parental care can also help them know their role in the society and that they shouldn't engage in acts like these. Messaging and outreach in order to reach all those in the rural areas that their role in the society is not just to go and impregnate people. They have more important role, and not just how it would be looked. They should be looked at also. Father specific support groups and peer influence. Media literacy should help fathers to know that they are present. Influencers should talk about teenage fathers and their successive outcomes after they have been put through these good policies. Organizations such as DOFS should strengthen laws against early child, should strengthen laws for fathers. Teenage fathers cannot be excluded in the talk about sexual reproductive health. You cannot build strong families with one pillar. It is time to move beyond seeing teenage fathers as bystanders and recognize them as active participants.
Thank you very much, Ashimot. We have Ajwefua to the podium. Please, let's give her a round of applause. Try the microphone first and be sure it's working.
Hello. The chairperson, the judges, ladies and gentlemen, discussion on adolescent pregnancy often focus solely on the girl, leaving one key stakeholder, overlooked teenage father. Today, representing Ajofa Community Senior High School, I seek to highlight the critical role of boys in sexual and reproductive health of adolescent child. The chair in my community, Ajofua, a 17-year-old boy named Kwame, became a father unexpectedly. Support was directed entirely towards the girl. While Kwame withdrew from school, confusion and silence, no system reached out to guide him, though he was a child in need of direction. Research shows this reality that Ghana Health Service 2023 report that although boys aged 15 to 19 are involved in over 40% of adolescent pregnancy, fewer than 3% of sexual and reproductive health intervention target them. UNFPA further noticed a teenage father face increased risk of dropout, emotional distress, economic instability, yet they remain invisible in policy and practice. The chair, these are the following recommendations. 1. Integrate boys fully. Establish male-friendly counseling units in school, including Ajofua Senior High School. 3. Implement mentorship schemes linking boys with responsible male role models. 4. Strengthen parenting communication on. 5. Provide psychological support for boys involved in adolescent pregnancy. 6. Mainstream SRH education into clubs, sports and co-curricular activities. And 7. Enforce shared responsibility in cases of adolescent pregnancy. 8. Engage community leaders to challenge norms that blame girls and excuses boys. 9. Promote positive masculinity and respect to gender equality. 10. Ensure re-entry policies support both mothers and fathers to continue schooling. The chair, teenage fathers are present in the classroom too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's welcome the speaker for Bechem Presbyterian SHS to the podium.
Hello. Honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, every child life begins as a story written by two authors, but in conversation about adolescent reproductive health, one artist's page is mysterious torn out. We flip the book, searching for the chapter titled Fatherhood. It is missing. Today, I want us to rewrite the story, one where teenage fathers are not ghosts, but characters with responsibilities, challenges, and rights. Who then is a teenage father? A teenage father is a male who fathers a child before turning 20. Teenage fathers remain one of the most overlooked groups in sexual and reproductive health discussions, whilst Ghana's adolescent pregnancy rate stands at 14%, according to the 2022 Ghana Demographic and Health Survey. Little attention is given to boys involved. Studies have shown that nearly 1 in 5 adolescent boys who impregnate a girl drop out of school due to financial pressure, stigma, or family conflict. Many teenage fathers face psychological stress, unemployment, and limited access to sexual and reproductive health information. Yet, they are rarely included in youth-friendly services. Policy recommendations. 1. The Ghana Health Service should include SRH education targeting teenage fathers. 2. UNICEF should promote youth-friendly health service for teenage fathers. 3. Mentorship and social support programs for the fathers. 4. Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection should promote policy advocacy and legal protection. 5. NGOs should provide financial empowerment programs. 6. GES should reintegrate teenage fathers into education. 7. GHS, Ghana Health Service, should create awareness campaigns on rights and responsibilities. 8. Legal Aid Ghana should promote legal support services. 9. Family planning accessibility for adolescent fathers. 10. The Ghana Health Service should help promote mental health and emotional support programs. In conclusion, teenage fathers are not often forgotten, yet their roles shape the future, supporting them with education, health, and guidance protect their children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of contest 3 of this semi-final stage of the National Public Speaking Contest. Please, let's give our contestants or our competitors another round of applause. Take some time to gather the scores and announce the winner of the contest.
So as we wait for the results for the third round and the overall score for this contest, contest 3, which involves Vantaman Girls SHS, Wilman SHS, Ashimota School, Ajofua SHS, and Bechem Presbyterian SHS. The winner of this contest will qualify for the finals on Wednesday. The finals will be held at the Parliament of Ghana, and the winner of this contest will partake in the finals. Very interesting. Leaving out the teenage boys in the equation. The equation where two adolescents get involved in sexual intercourse and the lady gets pregnant. How do we get the young teenage boy involved? And what are the remedial measures that will be available for the teenage boy, considering the fact that he will also, quote and unquote, be traumatized, considering his age and not knowing much about adolescent reproductive health. So as we wait for the judges to put the marks together, I'll direct these questions to the teenage boys in this auditorium. What do you think should be some of the remedial measures made available for adolescent boys who find themselves in this very awkward situation? Yes, I can see a hand up. What measures should be put in place for the adolescent boy?
Thank you very much. I want to talk for my boys because I'm coming from the boys' school. And it's something that is occurring. And mostly when that happens, we see the biased nature of the whole thing. There are organizations, NGOs that take care of the girl. The girl is allowed to go to school. She gives birth, she comes back again and come and writes after 9 months. And nothing happens to the girl child. But the boy child, that also must leave the classroom, go and work, and get money to take care of the girl. Immediately he absents himself from school for about 2 or 3 days. They say he has left the school and then he's dismissed or even punished severely to the extent that if he's unable to do it,
should not be only for girls or for women or for ladies. We are also gentlemen, we are men, we are boys. We need to be considered as well. Gender equality for both boys and girls. Thank you. Joshua Combat, the head boy, the champion.
It's about time that boys should also be considered, because I want to paint this picture. If it is not rape, we all condemn that entirely. We also condemn where young teenagers, boys and girls, get involved in sexual intercourse. But when that happens, and there is no element of rape, and it's consensual, which we don't agree to, I think most of the time we shouldn't condemn the boys so much, because I feel sometimes the boys are unduly condemned, and the boys are placed at a position of perpetrators and the girls are seen as victims. And that will not also help if we want to find holistic solution to this problem. My Chimota friend.
Thank you for the opportunity. So every day we've been hearing empower girls. Who will nurture the boys? They are left behind every little day. Empowering the girls, focused on the girls. What about the boys? There should be NGOs or leadership roles who will nurture the boys, because right now empowering the girls have taken the lead and then the boys are rather down. So we have to start from nurturing them. They will come to the empowering of them, that will become on the equal basis with the girls. And the man over there also spoke about the schools punishing the boys. We must also consider and be understanding them the same way we understand the girls. Thank you very much.
Very much. I have been signaled by the judges that the results is ready. So quickly, our judges, take over.
Hello? All right. Hello. At the end of the third round, this is how the schools have fared. Mfantsiman girls had 64 points. 64 points. Boeman SHS had 63 points. Achimota School had 69 points. 69. Adwoefua had 62 points. And Bechem Presby had 73 points. Now at the end of the third contest, or contest 3, here are the total scores of the respective schools. The school in the 5th position had 171 points. 171 points. And that is Adwoefua SHS. Please, let's give them a round of applause. The school in the 4th position had 198 points. And that is Boeman SHS. Let's give them a round of applause. The school in the 3rd position scored a total of 200 points. 200 points. And that goes to Mfantsiman Girls SHS. Now the contest was between Achimota School and Bechem Presby SHS. Now the school in the 2nd position scored a total of 218 points. 218 points, and the winner scored a total of 223 points. 223 points. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure to announce that for this contest, Bechem Presby is going to the finals with 223 points. 223 points. Congratulations to Bechem Presbyterian SHS for making it to the finals of the National Public Speaking Competition. And congratulations to every other person, Achimota for placing 2nd, just 5 points apart, Mfantsiman Girls, and of course, Boeman and Adwoefua. Well done for all of you. We wish you all the very best, and we hope to see you again. Thank you all very much, everyone. You can come down.
We are not leaving yet. Kindly take your seats. We are not leaving yet. Please take your seats.
Yeah.
Let's do it better for all of them. Let's do it better for all of them, especially Bechem Presby SHS for winning the 3rd contest. Hello. All too soon, we have come to the end of today's contests. Contest 1, 2, and 3. And we have had the winners of each of the contests. Contest 1, we had Sunyani SHS coming up top as winners. Contest 2, we had Awaso STEM School coming up tops. Then the last contest, just as we witnessed, Bechem Presby SHS took the contest. So they have qualified for the finals on Wednesday. We began with the Almighty God, and it is very important that we end with the Almighty God as well. But before that, there's a very important announcement. Before we leave here, we have some empty water bottles on the floor. So each student should at least take 2 or 3 so that we keep the place very neat for tomorrow's contest. As I mentioned, tomorrow we'll be here again for 3 other contests, and we'll select winners from each of the contests to the finals. So anybody, any students who is moved by the Holy Spirit can come up here and help us with the closing prayer. Let me call on, I think, Bechim Presby. They are very happy now. Anybody from Bechim Presby to give us the closing prayer. Let's do it better for him as he comes.
We thank the Almighty Lord for the wonderful things that He has done for us. King Almighty, most of us came from places which are very far with less expectations. But you, the King Almighty, have let our heart desires, our dreams, and our expectations come to pass. We thank you for the great things you've done. We continue to pray that you may you let bigger and greater things happen. In Jesus Christ's name that we pray. Amen.
So thank all of you, please. Contest. 1, 2. So tomorrow, as I stated earlier, the first contest will be between Accra Academy, Jache Pramso SHS, Kalio
Playing for your country,
SHS, Priso SHS, and
winning.
Ewa.
You know what be easy now? Give up 4-in-1 Gary mix. Interpret. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted banana. Just add water. Sharp soakings make ready. Taste the energy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion. 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion.
Also available. Sovereign Cocoa and Chocomo. This advert is FDA approved.
Fried rice. One Conico, one Original, one Aquamo.